Okay, let's take a look at Bandit 17. So with this level, we are looking at two files in our home directory. There's a passwords.old and a passwords.new. And the password is in .new and is the line that has been changed between the two. So we're going to want to kind of get the difference between those files. Obviously, you can see a little hint down here that we're going to be using the diff command. Let's dive into this. From our previous level on level 16 and getting here, we downloaded a private key. I've saved that file as this bandit17.pem. So we're going to use that to log into, we're going to use that as our private key to log into this level. What we're going to do is kind of go back to, I've actually already done our level 18 video. Oops, I don't need to do that. And we're just going to change this to Bandit 17. And we're going to do a tac I to select our input file. And we're going to type bandit17.pem. Let's hit enter here. And we're going to load this key, and it's going to say, this is an unprotected private key file. So when we create a new file in our working directory or our home directory, it gives it the default permissions of 644. That means that our user can read or write that file, and a group can read the file, and everyone can also just read that file. It doesn't like that we are using this to assign our private key with those properties. We can alter those by using the chmod command. Chmod just modifies the file properties, so we can set it to be a little bit more restrictive so that other users can't view this file. To do that, we're going to type chmod 600, and we're going to type bandit. We're going to change our bandit permissions for that file. And to kind of break down file permissions in a nutshell, so we can see that these permissions up here are read, write, read, and read as well for everyone. Right now, if we were to run that command again, we would see that only the user can read, write, and there are no other permissions for other users of this file. So that's kind of what we want. To give kind of a breakdown of what permissions we can grant a file, there's read access, there's write access, and then there's executable access. To grant read access, that is the 4, and let me take that back a little bit. So when we're granting access, these three letters correspond, or these three numbers correspond to what permissions we're giving those certain user groups. By giving it 600, we are allowing read and write access to just my user. So if we wanted to, for example, grant executable access as well, we could give it a chmod 700 and run this command, and then we can see that we're giving executable access as well. Executable access is always a value of 1, write access is a value of 2, and read access is a value of 4. So we can use any combination of those to grant permissions to various groups. So if we wanted to, let's say we want to be able to read, write, and execute this file, but we want others to maybe only be able to execute this file, we could give this file a permission of 711, for example. And so we can take a look at this file and see that everyone can now execute this file, but they will not be allowed to read or write to it. That's kind of a file permissions in a nutshell. We can get into more on file permissions. I think there are some future CTF challenges that will get into that a little bit more. But for right now, let's just go and change our permissions to read and write only for our user. So again, we can just hit up arrow and go back to our command here, and we can log in this way. Should be happier this time, I hope. Okay. Okay, so we're logged in as Bandit17, and let's take a look at our files out here. So we can see our passwords.new and our passwords.old. To get the difference between these files, let's take a look at the man page for the diff command. And we can see that this command basically compares files line by line. There are a lot of different options for how you want to parse things. We can scroll down a little bit, and we won't need any of these to do what we're looking for right now. But the important part is kind of towards the end, where we can see that it's going to show us the less than sign for files that are in file 1 and the greater than sign for files that are in file 2. So let's just run our diff command, and we're going to start with our passwords.old, and we're going to compare that to our passwords.new. Okay, great. So we can see that from this command, the passwords.old had this file in it, and that was, or it had that line in it, and that file was removed, and the next file, or the next line in that was added was this KF file. So let's copy this. This looks like our password for the next level. Let's get out of here, and let's go back into Bandit 18. We won't need our private key file to log into Bandit 18 this time around. But let's type this in. And let's paste our password. Great, so we were able to sign in. We got this bye-bye message here. And this is part of the Bandit 18 challenge. The next level. So if we see this, we can just assume that it's related to our next challenge. So you can look forward to that in the next video. So thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks.